Hello, everyone. This is Rick with the Cyber Podcast. Thanks for taking the time. It's 5 questions in 9 minutes because hackers never sleep. Question number one, who are you and what do you do?
All right. Well, my name is Amanda Berlin. I am the lead incident detection engineer for a company called Blumira. I also am a podcaster as well. So I'm a co-host on Breaking Down Security, and I am the CEO of Mental Health Hackers.
Wow. So do you have any time left in your day?
No, I don't.
Fair enough.
and I have 3 children. So
Oh, geez. Thank you so much for taking the time out to be on our podcast. This is
yeah,
awesome.
no problem.
Question number two, then. Why do you love being a cyber expert?
It's just something that I always wanted to do after I got into IT. It's just I like fixing things and helping other people fix things. Seems to be the majority of the work, no matter if you're red or blue team.
It's very true. So let's jump into question number three, then. Cybersecurity is a top concern. What does that even mean to you?
I guess it depends on who it's coming from. I like to think it's a top concern for a lot of people. It depends. Yeah, if it's coming from somebody that's just gotten breached, that's usually the reason they're saying that.
Or they read the newspaper article that someone else got breached that they know.
Yes, and they're like, oh, now it definitely should be a top consideration.
So here's the big question then. What piece of insight do you want to share with our network?
So I thought about this for a little bit, and I think I'll go with something that's been giving me a little bit of traction lately is telling people that they need to test their SIMs. So I've been working in like SIM related detection, engineering, defense fields for a while. And one of the few things that ever happens is people don't test a SIM when it's implemented. So people think it's intimidating, right, to test a SIM because, that's the red team's job or that's the pen tester's job. There's a lot of really easy things that you can do out there to test if your SIM's still awake and working. Things like, can you bypass your PowerShell execution policy? Like there's 2 or 3 lines that you can just put in PowerShell, and if your SIM doesn't pick up on it, there's a lot of malware that run those kind of commands in PowerShell. And if you can detect on that, that's great. That means your SIM's doing something, or something as easy as like adding a domain admin or changing some of your Azure permissions. Like there's like little things you can do just to test that don't take a whole lot of time that will, if you have a third party doing your SIM, will keep them on their toes. But all of that kind of stuff should be things that you worry about. And I don't think a lot of people do that.
No, I think that's a fair assessment. I actually am going to ask a quick follow-up question to that.
Sure.
I think we all understand, what a SIM is for and why you'd use it. Why do you think people don't test their SIM?
I mean, there's a certain amount of trust. If you have a third party doing it, there's a certain amount of trust that it's just going to work, right? I mean, you're paying them to do their job. But honestly, from the other side, always being on the MSSP side, at least for the last 6 years, I enjoy it when I have people go back and forth with me and kind of test and figure out why things are working or not working. Because I mean, it's technology. It's going to break sometimes, and sometimes it's going to silently fail. So I think that level of trust, people just are comfortable with it. Maybe they're scared that it's not going to work, and then it's going to pile on a whole lot more work where they didn't even have time as it is. Or maybe just not even knowing where to start. Those seem to be the top 3 reasons why people don't.
I think that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Final question for you. What's your favorite piece of retro technology that makes you smile?
I'd have to say Commodore 64. It's my first computer. I played a lot of games on that when I was very young.
Do you have a favorite game?
I can't remember what it was called, but it was the little guy on the wheel that like would jump over.
I
Like the
can't
little
think of it either.
caveman guy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do
played
remember that.
I played that a lot.
Most people would have said Oregon Trail, but I'm proud that
Right.
you said a different game. And now we just have to. Somebody will probably put in the comments
Oh, I'm
that
sure.
this is the name of the game. So this is great. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.